Is this not poetic? Two Kobe disciples, and Devin Booker and Jason Tatum, are down 3-2. Both elimination games, legacies on the line, and we saw the difference in players with how they responded. Let's go with the first game. Boston Celtics, Philadelphia 76ers in Philly. Keep in mind, Jason Tatum had one of the worst first three quarters I've ever seen from a superstar. Yes, Jason Tatum is a superstar. He is the number one option on the Boston Celtics. I saw a lot of debate. Who would you rather have, Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum? And a lot of people during those first three quarters were saying that they rather have Jaylen Brown over Tatum. Jaylen Brown is a phenomenal player. Phenomenal. He could definitely be the number one player on a playoff caliber team, but on a championship caliber team, he's a great number two, and that's what he is on the Boston Celtics. He's a duo. He's the Robin. Tatum is the Batman. Now, Batman had an off day, but Robin and the rest of the crew, they kept that team in the game against Philly. Philly was in the driver's seat, but the Celtics crept in, with Tatum having a horrible game. And Tatum in the fourth quarter, it seemed like someone gave him his phone and he checked Twitter to see all that slander because he went off. 3 points in the first three quarters, and then he hits a three, bang, another one, bang, another one, bang, another one, bang. 4 back-to-back threes from Jason Tatum, and he pushes for Game 7 back in the Garden. Now that is how a superstar reacts to having a poor game. A all-time bad performance turned into a clutch bounce back, pushing it to Game 7, and now you're going up against the Philadelphia 76ers that are full of playoff chokers. James Harden, he's not reliable in the playoffs. Doc Rivers has yet to be able to win a game since Boston. Since he was the head coach at Boston, he has not been able to win an elimination game where his team has a chance to go to the conference finals. He's about like 0-10, I believe, where his team is just one win away from being Eastern Conference or Western Conference appearance, and they choke every single time. If it's with Chris Paul, if it's with Kawhi Leonard, he's done it. All he's done is choke with the Clippers. Now he's doing it with the Sixers, and now it looks like it's gonna happen again after Jason Tatum had one of the greatest bounce backs in the same game I've ever seen. That was impressive. I was impressed by Jason Tatum, and I have been very critical about these Kobe Bryant disciples who followed through his footsteps, and that's him, Jason Tatum, and he showed that he had that Mamba in him, and he came up clutch in the fourth quarter. That's nothing more that you want from an off game from your superstar. Jason Tatum absolutely pulled it off. But then we move on to the following game right after that. Phoenix played Denver in Phoenix, all right? You have home court right now. You're down 3-2 against Denver. Denver has, a two-time MVP. But Devin Booker is one of those players that, is having an amazing playoff run. He was one of the most efficient guards I've ever seen. I'm not gonna lie. That's how he looked this series, and against the Clippers, the efficiency on Devin Booker was insane. But I said on Twitter, and I tweeted out, I'm gonna wait till the playoffs are over to debate how good his performance was, because Devin Booker, yes, he could come out and shoot 14 for 18, 20 for 25 in game 1, game 2, when there's not much on the line, Yes, it's a playoff game, but there's no elimination on the line. You could lose that game and you can bounce back the next game. Devin Booker turns into Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan when it's game 1, 2, 3, 4, when there's no elimination on the line. But the second elimination is on brink, we've got Smush Parker in the house, because Jason Tatum in the fourth quarter scored more points than Devin Booker did all 4 quarters. This guy went from I hardly miss to I hardly make shots. He said, I'm Dion Waiters today. I rather go 0 for 30 than 0 for 9. He kept shooting. He kept bricking. There was a house built. Now in Phoenix, he's got his whole new neighborhood that he's built with all the bricks he shot in elimination games. That's what Devin Booker's showing right now. I was told the Suns were going to make a 3-peat. Well, it looks like they're on a 2-peat of blowout elimination games in Phoenix. Will it be the third again against a European perennial MVP? it might happen. And I know Luka Doncic isn't an MVP, but he probably will be soon. But it's an absolute disgrace. Not only Devin Booker, right? He had a poor game. Kevin Durant, who they trade their whole depth, right? Or I can't even say their whole depth, but they're young players. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, tons of picks for Kevin Durant. He just could not get it done. You know, KD averages 30 points a game prior to that game in elimination games, and he stunk it up. He did horrible, and it's like he didn't really care, and it's kind of saddening because Cam Payne came to play. I did not know if that was, Cameron Payne from Oklahoma City Thunder, right, where he was just a bench player, and he came out playing as if he was Steph Curry. He was lights out, and that's the type of performance you need from your backup point guard when your point guard's injured and out in an elimination game, to drop a 30 bomb. And then your A1 and A2 and Devin Booker and Kevin Durant just do not show up. You know that's a winnable game when you get a massive game from one of your role players. But also Monty also needs some blame because he had two players that received 0 minutes in TJ Warren and Damian Lee, who were good players this season. They're good role players, and you needed to use them, and they had a fat 0 minutes. And we had Landry Shamet out here running 24 minutes, bricking threes, all right? Not only did, Booker and KD brick a bunch, Landry Shamet was a part of the building house community. He was getting those bricks provided to them, and he did it as if nothing on the line. It was an elimination game and another blowout. Do they not have any shame, the Phoenix Suns, that they have their fans, come out every time, every elimination game, thinking they're going to come back or they're going to win the game, and they get blown out and down by 30 at halftime? I would want my refund right then and there. You had the owner beefing with Jokic over a ball, flopping, and then he comes out, charges these guys ticket prices insanely high. I understand playoffs, elimination game, but come on. You're down 30 at halftime. Game 6, down 3-2. You just traded for Kevin Durant, who is one of the greatest all-time players of all time. He has the genuine case to be a top 15 player of all time. And you trade for him. And you have, the guy who's called by Stephen A. Smith the light-skinned Mamba, and you're down by 30 points at halftime, and you lose by 25. Man, get a grip. You're GM fired if I'm the owner. Head coach fired. And I'm gonna look to absolutely get a supporting cast for Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. DeAndre Ayton is one of the softest players in the league, all right? One of the softest. They should have made the trade where it was DeAndre Ayton and whatever else you needed to add onto this trade to Indiana because Indiana offered him a contract for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. Because Landry Shamet is not it. Get rid of him. Try to find a way where you send Aiden to Indiana. Hopefully their interest is not falling off. And you can get Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, who would be a lot better pieces than Landry Shamet and DeAndre Ayton. And Chris Paul, if he's going to be on the Phoenix Suns next year, you're not going to make it past the second round. This guy was supposedly addicted to playing finals games. Well, he's overcame his addiction, all right? He said nobody wanted it more than him. No, there's tons of players that want it more than him because he consistently gets injured when it comes down to the wire. I saw this in Houston when the Rockets were up 3-2. Boom, injury. Then, now he's injured again. Wow. Supposedly, Chris Paul was going to miss out all the way to Game 6. Game 6 comes around and he's still injured. It's like the Suns said, you know what? We hadn't won a game with Chris Paul at point. We think we have a better chance to campaign at point. And they were completely right because he dropped a 30 bomb. No way Chris Paul was going to drop a 30 bomb in an elimination game to get to the Western Conference Finals. No way that was going to happen. But anyways, Chris Paul has to go. Trade him elsewhere. Wherever else you need to trade him. Whoever wants a playoff choker, take him. Whatever you can get, send them there. If it's time to retire Chris Paul, it's time to retire. You're not going to win a championship. I'm sorry. You had your chance when you're up 2-0 against Milwaukee and you didn't get it done. But That's the difference. Devin Booker was already being called a superstar by Nick Wright, when he made his little animation thing about superstars, or who was the superstars. There was like 8 or 12 of them. I saw a little animation, and I saw Devin Booker was in there. Take him out. Take him out. He's not a superstar. When the going gets tough, he's shown his true colors, and that is he cannot handle the pressure. Anyways, leave a comment down below on what you thought about my take. Jason Tatum shows, that we have the two disciples from Kobe Bryant. One showed he's a superstar. One showed that he's not. Anyways, leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this, and thank you guys for watching.